In life, at a certain stages, we take decisions based on certain conditions, right? We say if you are learning in a school, you will say if it rains, then I'm not going to go to school, right? Because it is going to rain and I don't have my umbrella. If I don't have my umbrella, I will not go to school. Or your parents will say if you get marks, like good marks, then you can get the thing you want on your birthday, or you will get a bicycle, or maybe a PlayStation that you want, right? So similar to that, in Python also, there are also some times at that time we want to run our code only when certain conditions are met. Only at that time we want to run that block of code. So to do that, we have if statements. So what does this if statements do? So to know about that, how can we use this scenario in Python and make your code more amazing? To know about that, let's get into the screen and let's get started. So let's start with the basic syntax. So it is very alike like a English language, as you know. So we can just write if and we give our condition. I will tell you. Let's see. If after that, if we write our condition, after condition, we give automatically Python gives indentation and we write our block of code. So this is basic a syntax that we use for writing if statements. How can we do that? Let's see. Let's first set a condition. Let's say that you are in a school and based on that, let's say your parents says that if you get marks above 80%, you will get a bicycle. So how can you code that inside a Python? So while you are coding, it is always the best practice to take examples from real life so you can relate it to. So let's say that marks which are where you are going to get, let's make our code little bit dynamic by taking input from a user. So we will take a input from our user, input, let's say how much marks you got this semester. Okay, so this is our question and we are taking a input from our user. So and we are storing that to the x. So we will create a condition by using a comparison operator because we are going to deal with numbers, right? So we will write if, and after that I will write my condition which is x, and the condition says that our marks should be greater than 80%, right? So which can be greater than, let's say equal to, also greater than equal to 80%. So this is our condition. So when we use this kind of a condition, we get our output as a true or false. So we get our output as a true and false. So we can, I will also print that in order so you can see that what we are getting as our output. So here we go. So you can know. So when I hit the enter button, it automatically gives me indentation. So I will print. So my marks are basically, if my marks are greater than 80, then let's say you will get a bicycle. Okay, let's try to run our code and let's see what happens. So here go, code is running. I'm going to give output as, let's say 82. So I got 82%, and let's see the code what it is giving. When we print this condition, it is giving us a boolean output. So whenever the boolean output is true inside a if statement, we get our we get to run our code which is inside the indentation. So that's how it works. Let's say that you didn't get 80% of the marks, sorry for that, and some and now you want to give further instructions when you don't achieve that milestone. How can you do that? So in such a cases you will use else statement. I will copy this code from the before, control C. So I'm taking the same code as that, so I'm just going to add an else at the end of the if. So always remember that we cannot write else alone, we have to write it after the if statement. So what will be our instruction? Let's say if you don't get 80% of the marks, maybe your father says better luck next time. Okay. Let's see what happens. I will enter some marks. Let's say you missed by very few marks, 78. So as you can see, my condition is being false. So because my condition is false, so it is not going to run the code which is inside the if statement, but it is going to run the code which is below my else condition. So that was situation in the house, right? But what happens in the school, right? Based on the marks you get, you teacher gives you the grades, right? So how it is given and how can we do this inside a Python? So in a such a cases where we want to give multiple conditions, and at that time we use elif. So let's create a Python code where we can do this. So let's say I will take this part. Here also we will try to take an user input. So let's see. So let's try to create this data structure based on this we will give. So let's say if you get marks which are, let's say, greater than 90, what will be output? After that output will be O. Output will be O, which will mean outstanding. And if that condition is not true, so in such a cases if you want to apply another condition, so at that time you will use elif. Elif x is greater than, let's say, 70. Let's not do that much coding here for the simple example. Then your grade will be A, and let's write another condition. Let's say if this condition is also false, let's say if you get above 50, I hope it's good. You get B grades, and let's say another condition, elif check, if you get greater than 40, then print C. So we have written like this. Or if all of these conditions are going to be fail, then in that case I want to declare that unfortunately result is going to be fail. F means fail. So let's try and let's see how this code is going to behave. I'm going to run it now. So I will enter some marks randomly. Let's say 45, 54. So what grade we are giving to the student based on our mark is a 40. That was 40, 54. So based on that our code was running, and this condition becomes true. So it went inside that block of code and it got executed. So it printed the B as our result, and after that it did not execute the further code. So this is also important thing. In this scenario you can use multiple ifs and you can do the same thing, but there is a small twist in that. Let's see what is that. I will code this copy this same code, and I will just do some tiny changes in between. I will remove this L, so my code will become only with F. So this is my code. Let's see what happens here, right? So I will enter the same marks 54, and let's see what happens. Right now it is giving me two outputs. Is it correct? Right, it is not correct, right? So what is happening, if you notice, in the else, once our condition is true, it do not run the code afterwards. So in case of if, that don't happen. Once our one condition is true, it will still go and look for the if another condition is true. So in this case, our marks which are 54, which are greater than 50, so our print this condition is also true and this condition is also true. So both conditions are true, it is checking for another condition also. But in case of elif, that is not happening, right? In case of elif, what is happening here? It is just stopping when the condition is true at the first time. It is not going to do the further checking inside our if statements. You can also use membership operators with the if statement to see if certain element is present inside your data structure or not. Right now I have this my list, and inside the list I have elements from 1 to 10. If I want to check if certain element is present in the list or not, I can check that by using if statement. So let's say I take one element 4. I want to know if that element is in my list or not. I will do that by this. So I will say if this condition is true, then say that 4 is present. Let's see what happens. As you can see, it is showing us that 4 is present inside our list. What will happen if I change this number? Let's say I make it 44. What will happen? 44 is not in my list, right? Let's see what happens. I'm not getting any output. Basically it is not going to run the code because this condition is becoming false. And we also have opposite to that. If I take the same code and if I run it here, in this case it is going to print when I do not in operator. So not in gives true when the element is not present inside your data structure. As you can see, I should change this. 44 is not present inside the list. So based on your requirement, you can use any of these in or not in. You can also check for multiple conditions if by using logical operators. How can you do that? Let's see. First let me tell you what are the logical operators are. Here I have given some examples of operators. So far we are using like comparison operators and membership operators, but by using these logical operators and or not, we can see if we can compare multiple statements at the same time. We can check for multiple conditions at the same time. Let's see how can we do that. Let's say that elections are coming and we want to check if you are eligible for this year's voting. What can be criteria for that? Let's see, citizenship is one criteria. Let's say citizen equal to we need a person to be Indian citizen, right, for voting. And after that age should be greater than 21. Let's say okay. Then we can use both. We can use and operators because we want both of these situations to be true. I will use, let's say, citizen equal to an Indian. This is a comparison operator, and I will use and age must be equal to 21. I should say greater than 21, greater than or equal to 21. I will say print you are eligible for voting. Quick fix, eligible for voting, or else print you are not eligible for voting. Right now we can take also as our input enter country, input enter age. So let's see, first we have to input the country, which is our Indian, and then we have to enter the age 23. So by using that we can get I am getting a type error. Why is that? Not separated between instances of string and int. Okay, so what is happening here, we got our error. So getting error is a good thing. Let's see what is the type of age. Type of age, wait a minute, I have to again enter Indian, and then okay, so the type of age is basically right now is type of age is string here, and first we have to convert that to the integer so we can use it. I will print that about type so you can see what is happening here. Here we go, and we will change the type of age into integer. I will say int age. So our age will change here. Let's see how it goes now. So the country of origin is Indian. Okay, Indian spelling is good. Then age is 23. So as you can see, when we run this code here, it is printing the type. So the type is string, and we cannot use string in a comparison operator. Basically we are trying to compare string with the integer, which is not possible. That was why we were getting that error. So similar to that, if you want both conditions to be true, in that case you use and, let's say, and if you want to one of these condition to be true, then in such a case you can use or. So even if like one condition is false, you will still get your output. Let's say I am not from India, let's say I am from, I don't know, let's say USA, and my age is 23. Let's say this is some kind of a worldwide voting we are taking, and age just matters here, country don't, citizenship doesn't matter. So what will happen, see, I am still getting my output like you are eligible for voting, even this condition is not true. Similar to our list and dictionary, we also have here, also we have nested if, similar to nested list and nested dictionary. So how can we write that? Let's see one example, through that it will be more clear. So we want to take a user input from the user, and based on that we want to tell if that given number is positive or negative. How can we do that? Let's take this x as our user input, and right now I'm not going to typecast it. Let me tell you why. Because we are going to take this input, and we are going to check this inside our condition if the user have entered a number or not. Let's say enter a number. Here we go. And after that, let's write our condition. If x dot is digit, we will not convert, we will try this way. Okay, then if once it is confirmed that the user input is a digit, then what we will do, we will convert that into the integer, so we can know if that value is positive or negative. So to check that, now we want to give another if statement here. If x is greater than 0, then print positive number. And I want to check another condition, else if x is less than 0, then print negative number. And after that, if both of these conditions are going to fail, then what will be our number? Our number is going to be wait, I have to scroll up, and then our number is going to be a 0. So we will get our output as 0. So we have written our nested if statement. Let's run this and let's take a input. Let me show you by taking the input as this. Let's say some user confuses and that user enters number in a text format like this, 10. Let's see what happens now. Our code don't get executed because when it comes here, these conditions become false of like x is a digit. No, because we are giving it in the format of alphabetical, so it is not going to give us that as a true. But what happens when I give the integer in the format of digit? Let's see what happens. So I am getting it as a positive number. So this way we can write nested if statement, and I have given some examples to you for you to solve. So here actually we have solved our first example. This is not that much difficult questions. There is only one unexpected enemy that will be little bit difficult to defeat, that write a Python program to know if year is a leap or year or not. Here you have to use nested if statements in extensively, and I have given also one website link here, so you can know what are the leap years, and based on that you can write your nested if statements. Don't worry if you can't solve these questions, but I wish you best of luck, and we are going to take this example in our upcoming videos where we will use this knowledge that we have learned so far. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked our today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box. Hit that like, share and subscribe button. So make sure you practice the code that I have given in the so I will share this file with you. So along with that you can get these few questions that I have given. Make sure you solve these questions because practice is what going to make you perfect in Python coding. So till then, keep smiling, keep coding, and let's see the bright side together.